Hi, I am going to share a little bit with you today of some interesting findings regarding the research done on the percentage of Catholics that do believe in the real presence of the Eucharist. So let's get started. If you recall, in July 17th through the 21st, of 2024, the National Eucharistic Revival was held in Indianapolis with an estimated 50,000 Catholics, and actually was an initiative that began in 2022. Okay, so let's talk just a really brief a little bit about that. Okay, so if you recall, there was a study done back on 2019 and found that only 1/3 of Catholics were true believers in the real presence in the Eucharist. Okay. And that was kind of hard to take in for me because all my life I believed that Jesus was in the Eucharist. Um, so it doesn't mean that everybody else had to believe that, but just thinking about that, I thought, that's interesting. I would like to know where all this information came from. So that's what I started to do. I started to do a little research. So the research company, or should I say the research center, Pew, P-E-W, um, they are a center that, it says here, taking numbers, facts, and trends, shaping the world. Okay, so that's what they do, and that's what they did. And they pretty much did it in the appropriate time, right before the revival took place. So in a sense, I think it helped uh, or maybe thrusted more Catholics to attend this revival. So if the Catholics thought this is the way my thinking went, no, I really believe in the real presence. So it became this initiative to get out there and let's prove that we really do believe in the real presence. And as I was reading the research, I thought, okay, well, I wonder exactly who they interviewed and how they came up with this. Before I get to that, I want to just let you know that it's all in the wording. Okay, so it's how you pose the questions that will give you the answers that you're looking for. Okay, so as I was saying, in 2019, when Pew did their study, and it was only found that 1/3 of the Catholics believed in the true presence. Um, the the research was put out there, and so you get a lot of oohs and ahs and oh my gosh, for me it's unstable waters. You're not really sure what to believe. Could that be true or not? And I went out there to search and research and prove it, not only for myself, but because I wanted to know why, what is it? Where are we going wrong? So that at least in my life and the people that I'm surrounded with, when you talk about the Eucharist, you say it with more fervor, and you actually can go dialogue and see and get to know what the reasons are, and either just prove it or pray about it or whatever needs to be done. But we need to be really educated about that. So moving forward, Venia in 2022. Now, the previous research done by Pew was done in 2019. So here we are in 2022. Venia, another research center, but this research center specializes in the Catholic community, offering insights and data for informed decisions making, uh, informed decision making about in the Catholic Church. So they did another study, And in their study, they used some of the same verbiage, but they did it a little and also added verbiage based on the Catechism of the Catholic Church. So, for example, it says, okay, here's Benia's. It says, which of the following best describes Catholic teaching about the bread and wine used for communion? A, Jesus Christ is truly present in the bread and wine of the Eucharist. B, bread and wine are symbols of Jesus, but Jesus is not truly present. And C, not sure. Regardless of the official teaching of the church, what do you personally believe about the bread and wine used for communion? Okay, so all in all, the results came up that 69% of the Mass-going Catholics believe in the true presence of the Eucharist. Okay, so Pew's questions were a little different, similar, but not so much. The Pew study asked respondents, what do you think the Church teaches about the Eucharist? During Catholic Mass, the bread and wine actually become the body and blood of Christ, are symbols of the body and blood of Christ. So with that, they determined that it was 1/3 of the Catholics that only believed in the real presence. So I'm going to put the link to the study so that you can read it and kind of, because I may be confusing you as I got a little confused, but the outcome was basically that the wording had a lot to do with the way the folks responded, the Catholics going to church or going to Mass. And there's a lot of, you can create discussion with your children or with your siblings or with others that are really not participating in Mass and see what they say. That way you can get an idea as to what their thoughts are when they're not, really participating in Mass. But here's one of the things that I kind of came up with is that as a child, I went to Holy Communion, received Holy Communion. I went to Catholic school, so I was taught that was Jesus in the Eucharist. I didn't really think about it too much. He was present there, but not as his presence there may have been momentarily, because as you're a child, you're not really thinking other than I'm going to receive Jesus, and that's something that you're just accustomed to believe. But I think when you really say, I believe in the true presence, it's becomes something that you grow into as a devotion. Not only believe, but you have your experience with him through the years as you move on, as I did, as I went through life and went away from the Catholic Church for a little while. If somebody was to ask me, do you really believe that's Jesus in the true presence? I would probably have said, yeah, I think so. But that's because I had separated myself for a while and I hadn't really thought about it. As I returned to church and began to go to Mass, as I began to read the devotionals and hear from the pulpit the priests talking about the real presence, the act when you actually see the priest in movement holding the host up in reverence, if you do this continuously, you begin to realize there's something here. This is not like when I was a kid and I just came to Mass because I was told to come and I was told that Jesus was there. You begin to have an experience, you begin to grow into a devotion, and you begin to understand that is the real presence. Not only then, but then, biblically speaking, when Jesus said, this is my body and my blood, you are to eat this. And then you begin to realize and believe in these words, it grows. And your whole entire belief system is different because your faith has grown. And it's not something that you just create yourself. It's God's grace giving you these graces to give you the understanding and the belief and the faith. And you can't go back. You can't, you cannot undo that. You can probably, maybe in some instances, I just heard a lady the other day said that she was mad at God. And it happens because sometimes you do go through those things, and he understands that, but you still believe that his presence is there, and he's not going to let go of you. So this research that I just came across just recently, I wanted to share with you to see what your thoughts, and just let's create a discussion about this, because it's really important that you get yourself in a discussion with others, and even in your household, with a friend, a neighbor, and see what their thoughts are. And let's talk about the real presence more, because I think, really at the end of the day, the thing is, we want to continue to evangelize on the true presence of Jesus in the Eucharist. And you want it to grow to a point where you are going to feel, and even when you don't feel, but you're going to understand and believe that no matter what, this is the true presence. So now let's go to what took place in July 17th through the 21st. I'm going to show you some footage. Now, if your jaw doesn't drop after watching the beautiful adoration at the Eucharistic Congress Revival, I mean, I don't know what will. I mean, there's someone behind this that is thrusting all of these 50,000 people estimated to be there. I wish I could have been there, but that's okay. Even watching it, I was really, really thrilled and happy and joyful that the Catholics we're out there, and we do believe in the real presence, and it will continue to grow. Don't let anybody say any different. Read the article, which I'm going to post on the description box, and see what your understanding is of it, and let me know your thoughts about it. Okay? Thanks so much. Hope to hear from you, and we'll be reading for any of your comments. Thanks.
Master, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life.
This isn't just something we did for him. This is something he did for us, that he wanted for us, that he wanted for his church. We are waiting, yearning, broken, repentant, pilgrim people. And what does that make us? It makes us the bride.
Your Christianity is not for you. Your Christianity is for the world.
The Lord is just getting started.
Jesus meets us where we are and then draws us to the truth, so that inflamed with love, we can become his witnesses.
Bring the light of Christ out into the secular world. This great revival will have been a failure if we don't change our society.
My favorite part was being able to be in the presence of God with 50,000 of our brothers and sisters.
One word, transformative, to be able to see people gather together, all different generations, all different ages.
The joy that was present here was so beautiful, like seeing the body of Christ and just falling to your knees.
I think what brought people here was a sense of faith. They came here, they believed, and then they really experienced, I think, a lot of love.
I'm looking forward to the next one.
Jesus, we want you to lead us to heaven, the destiny of our pilgrimage. Jesus, we did all this for you. We want the world to know who you are. how good you are. Make us, Lord, your missionaries to every corner of our land. Show us, Lord, who we are. Let us be your body in the world.
This is how people have come to perceive Christianity as nothing but a to-do list. We got to remind them that this is the love story. We need to become the church of the gospel of Jesus Christ again. We need to be known primarily as the people who talk about and invite the world to Jesus.
Commit yourself to becoming a Eucharistic missionary, someone who lives deeply a Eucharistic life.
I am the living bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats this bread will live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh for the life of the world.
We should not eat Jesus to ourselves. That is not discipleship. That is selfishness.
Go and tell others about the gift that you have received.